the update, they had a breathing app on there. And so with that breathing app, I have it on different days where, it gives off a notification, let me know that I have to breathe. So when it does that, I take a look at it, and then I say to myself, not that beat. I don't want to play that one. There we go. I'm trying to play something smooth tonight, so yeah. So the app would actually notify me, when I need to breathe, and you can set that as many minutes that you want to do. And I just really set it to 1 minute, and I tend not to do it at work, because I work at LAX. I work on the outside, right by the aircrafts and things of that nature, where jet fuel and all that stuff is in the air, which is not good to breathe in. So I get home or whatever, or in an area where it's not populated with air pollution, like the airport. I tend to use the app, and I'm telling you right now, it does help out with your mindset and things of that nature. You do have to take time to breathe. Now I know different fitness watches and things, and smartwatches like that, got apps like that. But if you do got an Apple Watch and you do got the Breathe app on your watch, I will highly recommend you guys use that app. Like I said, you can do a minute a day or a minute every couple hours to actually do some breathing techniques. And it's really very good because it also gives oxygen to your body, which gives oxygen to your brain, which makes you think more clearly. It makes you feel much more better. So always take time to truly breathe. You inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Simple as that. Or somebody might say it's the other way around. However you do it, just do it properly, and I'm telling you, you'll be straight. If you have asthma and bronchitis, then you breathe slowly. Don't breathe in heavy, breathe slowly, and then you'll be alright till you get to your regular breathing pattern. For those that can't fully breathe correctly, breathe slowly. You will get alright. Trust me on that. Alright, so April 13th, 2017, Daily Tips Thursdays. I said it's funny when you think about it. Then again, don't think about what it is that you need to handle. Whatever the task may be, just go ahead and, just like Nike, just do it. I mentioned that for the fact that we as human beings are very ignorant creatures. Reason being because we always think as to what we need to do. We think that we need to pay our taxes on time. We think that we need to go take out the trash. We think that we need to go wash dishes. We think that we need to go take care of, report to business, or we think that we need to read a book or do some homework, or we think on blah blah blah. We think a lot, and whenever we think a lot, we tend to always fall off. Now when we fall off from thinking, we procrastinate. Procrastination literally comes a little bit from thinking. I think I may have said in the past, other entrepreneurs say too, they say it's good to think. But I would say if you're thinking, think for about a good couple seconds what it is you need to do, and we'll handle that task. Because if not, you're going to be truly procrastinating and be way back behind as to what you need to do. But there are some times where you do need to think. But that's where you need to think quickly. Not for about a good 10 minutes and then you're like, nothing. Whatever the task it is that you're thinking about, handle it. Because at the end of the day, you will feel much more better. Take care of that. So we're coming to the close on April 14, 2017. Boss Status Fridays, or as folks call Good Friday. I'm trying to figure out how Christ's death was actually good for a Good Friday. I understand that was good because he did pay the cost for our sins. That is truth, and it's for certain, it's fact. I'm trying to figure out why it's called Good Friday though. Almost like an oxymoron as to why it's called Good Friday. Other than that, the Boss Status Fridays, I say you have to keep God first, always in everything you do. For if you don't keep him first, you will fall off and be lost. And this is where I cut the music off because I'm going to be very serious what I'm about to say in the next couple of minutes in regards to that post. You guys noticed that I mentioned God a lot in my podcasts. You guys also know that I do cuss a lot in my podcasts as well too, which I always apologize on doing. And the reason being is because I know that folks do not like cursing. And I know sometimes a form of expression that I tend to do that's not great either, especially being a Christian. But like you guys heard me say last year in the podcast, and I think it was the one where Donald Trump had won the election, and I literally went full blown cursomatic, just everything because because of the division that election had caused. That really had me say, you know what, something needs to be done. Because I'm friends with all races. Racist. I ain't talking about racist people. I'm friend with all race of people: white, black, Jewish, Arabic, Muslim, homosexual, sexuality. I know some people who's like that and things of that nature. I do not confirm a certain people's actions and what they do or what they believe, but I treat everybody equal as a human being. Christ did the same thing too when he was here on this earth doing his Father's work, saving souls, preaching the gospel. The people that are sick, he had to go to them, you know. And the reason why I say you have to keep God first in everything that you do. Because if you don't, you're going to fall off. You're going to be lost. The reason why I mention God in my podcast is because I would not be doing this podcast without him. Period. I wouldn't be doing these podcasts. To be honest, a couple years ago, I thought about doing the podcast and I was like, whatever. It didn't really hit me like it has been these past 43 weeks. Actually, longer than that, you know. And so I say that because most of you guys who's listening to this podcast right now, you don't really keep God first in everything that you do. You think that all your accomplishments, is of your own doing. It's not. Do know that God always has a hand in your life as to where you're going and what you're doing. But also remember too, he does give us a choice as to what it is that we as ignorant human beings want to do on our own. And so whatever we want to do, he gives us that choice. Let the choice be good or bad. If the choice is bad, trust me, we're going to learn from the lesson. Most of you guys have been burned through the fire and learning different lessons over the years from the choices that you have made. But here's the thing. You learn and grow from them. And sometimes some of the bad choices are actually orchestrated in a way for you to learn a lesson. To learn a lesson to tell somebody else later on down the line in the future not to go down that route and whatnot because you already went through it. So for those of you that don't like me mentioning God on my podcast, it's cool. I'm not tripping about it. The reason why I ain't tripping about it because the seed's already been planted. And I think I mentioned this last time where I said I'm not a perfect Christian. Now I'm going to continue to say that I'm not a perfect Christian. I'm trying to get to that type of status, but the only one that was perfect was Jesus Christ himself. Period. Paul wasn't perfect. King David wasn't perfect. King Solomon wasn't perfect. Peter sure as heck wasn't perfect where he was rolling with Jesus. How you have a sword on you and you rolling with the kings of kings when Christ is being took by the Roman guards, supposedly on Good Friday. Or that's the thing, we don't know the actual date to what Christ had descended into heaven, of what he had died and things of that nature. We don't know like the actual dates, because folks said that's a fairy tale story. I'm like, it's not a fairy tale story if Galactica, the the place of the skulls is actually, I forgot which country it is in the Middle East, but it's there. And it's blocked off. Like with a gate that says do not enter. If I'm not mistaken, whatever country it's in, the government had actually sealed it off a little bit. I remember reading an article about it. And it always amazes me when folks say that, the Bible isn't real and Christ is real, this is all fairy tale and things of that nature. It amazes me how when folks say that you don't see the evidence. Egypt is still here. Jordan is still here. You look at Syria and what Syria is going through. Syria is going through a civil war, but at the same time, it's way deeper than that. And the reason why it's way deeper than that is for the fact. Let me see. The reason why it's way deeper than that is for the fact, like I always keep mentioning, America is the new Babylon, and our Babylonian era that we've been in for the longest is fallen. I mean, it's falling down. What I mean by it's falling down, I mean, like, you take a look at what kind of president we have right now, and, it's two different sides to the story. And excuse me real quick while I drink me some water. And do not mind, other voices and things of that nature. Yeah, your brother's home, so I'm just chilling with the family and things of that nature, and all the other good stuff. But other than that, though, like I mentioned, the president that we have, some of you guys love him, and most of everybody hates Donald Trump and things of that nature. But not even with him. You take a look at the cabinet and things. Not even with them. Just take a look at the structure of America. It's Babylon straight up. Why we still fighting in the Middle East and things of that nature. You have to understand, Israel controls us and a couple other countries, but especially Israel. Israel is God's appointed, anointed people and whatnot, and things of that nature. Actually, I think that kind of changed over centuries and whatnot. Reason why I can kind of go to the Old Testament, the New Testament as opposed to the Old Testament. Either way, Israel, still God's anointed. So Israel, throughout the many years, and when you see in the Bible, whichever place is in New Babylon, Israel will always be on top of that by God's anointed power. Or sometimes God be like, okay, Israel, y'all tripping, so I'm going to have such and such and such and such. Teach you guys a lesson so you guys come right back to me. It's a trip when you really think about it from that point of view. That's really hurt your brain. But at the end of the day, though, ladies and gents, at the end of the day, Israel does control, the U.S. So since we are the new Babylon, we fighting Israel's cousins, which are, the Syrians and things of that nature, folks in the Middle East. Those folks are the offspring of Ishmael. And when you look at Jacob's surname Israel, that's where you get that name from and whatnot. And it's basically Jacob, a.k.a. Israel, against his cousins, against Ishmael's descendants. Which is why you see the civil wars and things that's popping off over in that side of the region. It's because of that. Like, nothing is new. The only thing that is new is the technology that we kind of using and whatever in these wars and stuff like that. But how does that pertain to keeping Christ first and all and everything that you do? Reason being, and like I said before, I always apologize for the cursing, but I know sometimes that there are certain individuals that are able to hear a message unless you use some type of language that they could kind of understand, which is sad and unfortunate, but it's very much true for certain people, because certain people can't really comprehend certain dialect unless you add a little bit of into it. And then you're like, okay, I understand where you're coming from now. And then you're looking like, I could have said that without the cussing, and folks still understand.